Welcome back to Out There with Dan and this destination cooking video. We're at the top of Mt Wellington at Miller's Hut, and it's a beautiful spot in the Victorian high country. We've shot away for the weekend. It was an early start, 6 a.m. out of bed on the road, so we made it, which is great. I said to my friend Tyson, if he came with me, I'd cook him a great steak, and he said, okay. So we're making butter basted ribeye steak with, out there with Dan, loose potato mash with it and a side of broccoli to keep our wives happy. But say hello to the people, Tyson.
Hello.
A few dirt bikers overtook us on the way up and came back down before we even got to the top. We thought we were alone here at Miller's Hut, but then all of a sudden a big convoy rolled in, and they're a support crew for a charity group of walkers who are about to hit camp sometime soon. So I wonder if they'll be jealous that I'm cooking up a ribeye and with whatever they're eating. We'll see. Pat it down. Ideally, you'd want to take it out of the fridge and do this about 2 hours before. Just using salt and pepper, very liberal amounts. Such a thick steak, I really need it to soak in. Do the whole thing, do a nice good coating, especially on the edges. Yeah, cool. Pepper, very coarsely cracked. Perfect. When you do this, when you salt, you'll notice the salt will first of all disappear in, and then the next thing will happen is you'll get like a moist look or little pools of moisture on the surface, and then the final step is that moisture then going back in, and that's when the steak's ready. That's what I figured out. But yeah, a couple hours to get to room temperature and a couple hours for that salt to soak in, and that's going to get you the best result. This is my Swiss Army potato peeler, handy little gadget. These are Dutch cream potatoes. Sorry if you hear the splitting noise in the background. The guys are cutting up their firewood. I'll take it over the chainsaw. Alright, step 1, whiskey. Step 2, potatoes in. Step 3, water to boil. Just enough to cover them basically. And pinch of salt. Like a magician. Did you know there's a great shop in Carrum Downs that sells charcoal and fire cooking stuff?
Where is it?
I've been meaning to get there, I haven't got there yet.
What's it called?
Don't know. Just Google charcoal cooking Carrum Downs.
Can't.
Not right now, we don't have reception.
Yeah, no, thanks, mate.
That one does a job, $10 at Bunnings. Should be right. I've heard people say they fail and they break the rivets or whatever, but yeah, so far so good.
Yeah.
Oh, it's getting there, it's still not quite there. Before you go to cook the steak with this method, you've got to have everything laid out, ready to go, because it's time critical and you don't want to be messing around, running off, back and forth, putting your gloves on and off. Have everything together. We're using thyme, fresh thyme, shallots. We're just going to cut those bad boys in half. And I forgot the garlic, God forbid, so we're using garlic salt instead, and butter. I reckon for one steak, just less than half a normal stick of butter. So what's this, 250 grams, you know, say 100 grams, something like that of butter. Also got my temperature probe, knife, tongs, spoon for basting the butter, and a fork just to help out as I need. Let's move this over here. All right, let's check these potatoes again. Bit of steam there. Yep, they're nice and soft, they're done. I'm going to drain them out, just get rid of the water. I won't use the strainer. It's probably more dangerous using the strainer. Just tip the water out, put them in a bowl, cover it over, and then we're done with them for a little bit. Oh no, we lost one. Still be plenty. How good does that steak look? All right, let's get it on. Using the Bedourie lid, putting it directly on the coals. Okay, let that heat up a sec. The more level you've got it, the better. Not particularly level here, but it'll be okay. Make sure you put your watch on. Mine was in the car, I've just put it on again. You really need the seconds. Starting to heat up now. Bit of canola oil on there. Run that around a bit, like so. Steak on. One side first. Always lay steaks down away from you. That's super hot. I'm just giving that about 1 minute. It's really thick. I might give it a bit more than a minute actually. Doing an initial sear just to make sure that the surface gets that delicious crust. That's been about a minute. I'm going to flip it over. I can tell straight away it hasn't been done long enough. It's going to wait a bit longer. Still pretty hot. I'm hoping the coals are hot enough to do what I need to do. Try there. See this dark colour? That's what we're after here. Trying to create like a short crust on it. That's been about a minute. I'm adding the thyme and the shallots. Lost the shallot, I'm not doing too well today. Soak that in. Might add a touch more canola oil. So the idea is you want to have one hand in the glove at all times. And then be stirring it in, stirring in the oil. Gonna flip that now. Yeah, have a look at that beautiful crust forming there. There's two chains of thought with steaks. One is you flip once and the other one is you keep flipping. For a steak this big, I think you've got to keep flipping. Otherwise you're going to burn one surface or just not get an even doneness. That thyme in there, beautiful shallots. Giving that another good whack on each side. I bloody miss recording the butter melting in. Let the oil bring out the flavours in the thyme and the shallots. Make sure you've got a good sear on both sides. Then add the butter. And what you're trying to do with the butter is submerge the steak in and continually replace hot butter on the top, basting it so that it's been cooked by the butter from the outside. I think the coals are a bit too cold. Yeah. once it's been on a bit, start checking the temp, looking for 60-65 degrees Celsius. We'll let it rest to continue cooking. So we're way off still.
What's the temperature that you need to get to?
60, probably, maybe even a bit more.
Yeah. Oh, that little bit of slop that I ate was. I can't wait to do that. Where are they?
In that black bag behind you is the actual charcoal. Charcoal starter, matches, and there's gloves in that pocket if you want to do that. Or you can tip it in, or decided to put on some more charcoal just because I think I'm losing so much heat that I'm struggling to kind of make it work. It's more of a slow cooking butter, I guess, at this stage, but still looks bloody delicious. Hey, if you do have the natural slope, you can kind of butt it up against the edge. Creates a bit less work because all the butter will gravitate towards it. Still best to put it over the top though, like that.
I'm like salivating just thinking about it again.
It looks pretty good, eh? How's that charcoal going? Alright guys, just as I was starting to give up, thought we wouldn't have the heat in there. It's come to temp. So it's coming off. Got the alfoil. So whacking it into alfoil to rest while we prepare the rest of the meal. And we forgot the shallots, so we'll put them in before we go to the next step. Alright guys, take that butter mix off. I'm going to use that in a sec. And so this is the birds and also my loose potato mash. It's a loose potato mash because I just use a fork to mash it because I can't be bothered carrying a masher in my kit. I have enough gadgets, can't have everything, or maybe you can. I don't know, fork does the job, doesn't it? Pretty good. Here comes the cool part. We're going to tip in the butter mix, I should say, like so. Straight in. Boom. Okay. And the leftover bits of thyme, the pepper, that delicious oily buttery deliciousness. Looks a bit interesting at the moment, but it'll look awesome in a second. 2 extra ingredients I'm adding: chives. Try to cut them nice and fine, but it doesn't matter too much, just whatever you're comfortable with. Fair bit there, it's going to waste otherwise. Straight in. And then the out there with Dan secret ingredient, cream cheese spread. I'm gonna roughly a tablespoon. I have a clean spoon somewhere. Oh, this will do. 1 and a little bit more. And then I'm gonna mix that together. You'll get this kind of dark brown from the butter and the pepper and the charred bits of the steak, but it's all flavour. This thing packs a punch. Just mix it up enough that, yeah, it looks good enough. Oh, a bit of a slant here. That's looking pretty good. All right, final part of the dish. We've just got broccolini, some olive oil, drizzle that on, mix it around a bit. And then I've got this steamer rack, but I'm actually going to use that as a roasting rack. Sit those on there loosely, and that goes on. This is really a tribute to the Bedourie oven because we're boiling in it, then we're frying in it, and now we're roasting in it. Pretty versatile if you ask me. You know, there's something about cast iron, isn't there? But as a workhorse, as a, you know, rugged, throw in your bag solution that does a lot of things, I highly recommend the Bedourie oven. To finish this off, guys, hear the sizzle. I'm just going to sit them on the bottom of the camp oven for just a moment in that olive oil. Some of the bits are already looking pretty dark, like that one. Won't leave it in here long. Basically just frying to finish them. Just to finish this off, guys, honey, squirt, good squirt. Stir that around. Oof, it smells so good. All right, champ, you ready?
Yeah, mate.
Olive oil roasted honey broccolini. Out there with Dan. Mash. Loose mash. Butter from the steak basting, chives, and cream cheese. All right, get that to one side because here comes the main event. Giant steak. All the juice. All the juice. Doesn't matter if we run a bit off the board. A couple of shallots to top it off. Looks pretty good to me. But I'm not going to be the one doing the money shot today. I'm going to pass over to Tyson.
Thanks, Dan. This looks delicious.
Yeah. Knife. Cut it down the middle and show us what's in there. Anywhere in Melbourne you'd pay $150 for a steak like that. But for you, Tyson, $300. In all seriousness, though, you know, we are out in the middle of nowhere, in the middle of the hills. 3 hours of rough roads to get in here, and we're able to come up with this. How awesome is that? Hang on, man, I've got to get you something. For all your hard work carrying things around the campsite, I'd like to present you with an Out There with Dan sticker.
Thank you, Dan.
Oh, you're welcome.
Thanks, mate.
Thank you.
I'll wear it with pride.
Yep, you can put it on your finest shirt, wherever you want. Yeah, mate, you just cut it up, plate me up, and we'll eat over there. Oh, how good does that look? If I died tonight, just know that I was happy. Seriously. That looks awesome.
Alright, how much do you want?
Yeah, like just do it in half, basically.
I've started eating off that bit. I'll like snip a bit off there and then...
Yep. What, you want a plate?
Yes. I don't want juice dripping all over my lap while I'm sitting there eating my dinner.
Gee, you're delicate. You'll feel more like a man eating off that thing. Got another one though. Plate up and eat over there, I reckon.
fight me.
Suppose I have done a bit of work. Oh, always sink into this little chair. It's not too bad though. Ooh, sitting on the microphone.
Did you get a drink?
Oh, I'll go get it in a sec.
Rookie mistake.
This is so good. This is a bit. Look at that.
It's so amazing.
Look how thick that is, even cooked.
That's what she said.
In all seriousness though, regarding the stickers, a few people said they wanted one and I've sent it to them. Here's a photo of Jake with my sticker on his BT50 canopy. Looks pretty good, I reckon. And here's some photos from Jason over in WA camping with his son on his big property. Thanks so much guys, appreciate your interest. And I think I'm onto something. I'm going to put these in the store really soon on my website, outtherewithdan.com. There's not much there yet, but wait out, coming weeks, there'll be a bit more. Tyson's got 2 young kids. I'm about to have 2 young kids. Don't have phone reception tonight, so hopefully I don't become a dad overnight. Thanks, Tel, and I'm sorry. Where we stopped didn't have the reception I thought it would. But we're talking about how getting away is just so good to reset your mind, reset how you're thinking, how you feel about the world, and just spend great time with people that you care about. Tyson and I work together, but we go back, way back, all the way to uni, and how good is it that we can share this experience together. Anyway, I better hoe into this. Thanks very much for watching. We're going to have a few more whiskies tonight, a bit of relaxing, a bit of campfire therapy. Look forward to seeing you soon. Out There with Dan, signing off. See ya.
Cheers.